Is Smith & Wollensky the best steakhouse in New York City? We're Kristin and Will, and we're on a mission to find the best food in New York. We've been to most of the best steakhouses in the city, including one by the son of the founder of Smith & Wollensky. So today we're going to be giving it a try and see how it stacks up.
We are actually in Wollensky's Grill, which is attached to the main restaurant, Smith & Wollensky's, but their more casual option.
We've been to the main restaurant before, but a lot of you guys said the grill was even better. Smith & Wollensky opened in 1977 and is part of the Quality branded group that also runs Quality Meats, which we loved. It's famously Warren Buffett's favorite restaurant and has been featured in movies like The Devil Wears Prada.
Smith & Wollensky's doesn't open until 11:30. How am I gonna get the steak?
Possibly even more famous than its steak is its beautiful exterior. The green and white building is unlike anything else in the city. The atmosphere in the grill feels a lot more laid back and casual. I love the bold colors, the dark woods, the touches of marble around the bar, and these huge light fixtures.
So the menu at Wollensky's Grill is slightly different than next door, but what's really nice is they also give you the Smith & Wollensky menu, so you can order anything from the main restaurant. Smith & Wollensky is known for its prime rib, so we're definitely gonna get one of those. If you've watched us for a while, you probably already know that we love a good sear on our steak, and a prime rib is prepared much differently than your typical rib steak. It's not something we'd usually order, so to get a little taste of both, we're going with their hanger steak as well and a side of Brussels sprouts.
We got ourselves a lot of meat. We decided to go with the prime rib, which is 2 pounds, and we got the hanger steak. Let's just dig into the main event. I'm gonna try it first on its own, and then I'll give it a try with some creamed horseradish that came with it. It looks so juicy, so moist, and it comes with all this juice underneath. I'm gonna make sure I really have it lathered up in that. Wow, that is unbelievable. It melts in my mouth, and the flavor, I think that's the most flavorful piece of meat I've ever had. I know I've probably said that before, but it's so nice and oily and rich, and I get a little bit of that fat. Obviously, it's not charred at all, and I usually like a lot of char, but there's something about this that you really could taste that flavor of the meat that I appreciate. All those flavors from the fat and the juice just accentuate the meat so nicely. Now let's try this with that creamed horseradish. It's good, but definitely prefer the meat on its own. I feel like just sticking it in that juice adds all the flavor I need. We also got the hanger steak. We had this at St. Anselm's a few days ago, and in addition to wanting to compare it to that, we also wanted a more traditional steak that has that nice char on it. So let's give it a try. Wow, that is so nice and tender. It's cooked perfectly. I love the char. The char isn't really as strong as some other places we've been to. Like at St. Anselm, it definitely had a little bit more of a crunch. This one just seems seasoned. I also don't prefer the seasoning as much as St. Anselm. Honestly, I think out of these two, I'd prefer the prime rib, which I am very surprised because usually I like a more traditional, like very charred steak, but this is 10 out of 10. I'm gonna gobble this up. I'm curious to see how much of this I can eat. We also got the Brussels sprouts, which is their spring special. It has some bacon on it and a little bit of lemon. Wow, the bacon adds so much flavor. I don't really taste any lemon, but the Brussels sprouts are cooked perfectly. They're so nice and crunchy. I taste some char, some smokiness. Time to chow down and see how much of this we can eat.
Oh, wow, that is so good. It's just such a meat-forward flavor, and the juice adds so much more flavor. It does miss a little bit of that texture that you normally get from a rib steak, but it is fantastic. And it is also freaking massive. All right, let's try this hanger steak. It's delicious. Maybe not quite as good as the one at St. Anselm, but still really good, and a great deal for $39 to get like 2 pretty decent sized pieces of that. Let's try these Brussels sprouts. Look at all this bacon, first of all. This is a whole piece of just bacon. It tastes so smoked, and the Brussels sprouts are a little bit crispy. I have a feeling we're gonna do a pretty good job on all this food.
So if you've been watching our channel, you know that we of course got some dessert. We went with the coconut layer cake, which Apparently, Guy Fieri named the best dessert in New York City in 2011, but apparently it's only the best if you sub out the mango sorbet for vanilla ice cream. There is a pineapple chutney that comes with it as well. Let's give it a try. Wow. Oh my goodness, that was a whirlwind. The flavors are insane. I also love the textures. The cake is so nice and moist, but then the coconut flakes add like a little bit of extra stringiness. I don't know, I just like that soft, moist cake with the stringiness of the coconut, the creaminess with that ice cream, and that fruitiness from the pineapple. There is a lot of flavors going on, but it's so good and they all blend so nicely. I wouldn't say it's the best dessert in New York City, but it is really good.
As we were finishing up our delicious coconut cake, our waiter Amador asked if we wanted to see the dry aging room. 20 steakhouses into our mission to try everyone in New York, our answer was obvious. The smell in this room is unlike anything else. It's not necessarily bad, more like an earthy funk. All of the meat at Smith & Wollensky is dry aged in-house for 28 days.
This is so cool.
Then we saw all of the cuts ready for tonight's service. And all of these desserts are just for tonight. Our last stop was the wine cellar, which has over $1.2 million worth of wine, with some bottles that can go for more than $10,000 a piece. Well, that was fantastic. Our server Amador was the best. He gave us a full tour of the entire restaurant, including the meat cellar, which was so cool to see. We'd have to go back and try the porterhouse and the sirloin because everything we ate was phenomenal. But let us know if you've ever been to Smith & Wollensky and what you thought of it. Make sure to subscribe if you liked the video, and we'll see you guys in the next one.